poses or something, I can just start fiddling around on a story I was thinking of. How does your music and your passion for music, how does it affect you in your normal day-to-day life,
How does it affect my normal day-to-day life?
Do you pick up the guitar if it's you had a meeting that was canceled, or you have something that isn't due for a couple hours? Do you pick up the guitar and play?
Yes. One of the things that I've been working on is developing a mastery of other stringed instruments, and including the banjo and the ukulele, both of which I use for my kids' parties. And banjo in particular is a very, very difficult instrument, and it's actually, for anyone listening out there thinking about getting their kids started on stringed instruments, banjo is, I think, the better way to go, because you have to, in some ways, unlearn what you know about guitar to become better at banjo. Yeah. And so I have a little lawn right across from my apartment, and I go out there with the banjo and the guitar, and I just work on my rolls, and so I always have an eye on trying to become more proficient with that. Same with the ukulele. Ukulele is a little bit easier, I would say, to learn and become proficient at. But it's a beautiful instrument, and there's no such thing as a sad sound out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm always thinking about when is there going to be an opportunity in my day to just run through songs that are just noodle around on things that I'm working on. And I've arrived at, when my wife comes home to put my son to bed and so forth and do their stories, I figure that's always a good time, and it's very quiet and tranquil, and I can just go out and have fun with that for a little while.
Yeah, very nice. And this is, once again, for the listeners, to have this creative thing and this creative spirit and this thing that you're working on, what a gift it is. It really is. It's a gift. And sometimes, I know it's happened with me, and I'm sure it's happened with you, Mike, where you think like, wow, what am I doing it for? No one's listening to my music. No one's reading my words. But it is, someone told me a great story about a man who's retired. This gentleman's father is about 80 years old, long retired, and he was a violinist, at a symphony level violinist, professional. And even though he's 80 years old, every single day he goes outside, just like you. That's what reminded me of this story. And he plays the violin for like a couple hours. And he goes out there when it's dark, when it's cold, I don't think in the rain, but cold. And the son asked him, like, why do you do this all the time? He goes, well, because that's what I love to, why do you do this? No one's going to hear you. No one's listening to you. You don't play professionally anymore. And the father said, I have to do it. This is what I do. And I think that's just, it's so important to stay with it and keep doing those things that keep you alive,
Well, it becomes so ingrained in your being that that does become, and it has to do with the drone of the strings that just they resonate in your head, they resonate in your heart. When you strum a guitar and it's perfectly in tune, that ripples. Yeah. That, at least for me, it ripples through me. And so there is that sort of spirit. There's a spirituality to it. There's a physicality to it. There's an emotional component to it as well. It hits a lot of different notes. Yeah. Pardon the expression. But
all right, great. Now I have a good transition now because you just mentioned notes, and I think we're going to play our third. This is the third song. This is going to be live. This is a tape. And, since you sent to, which one this is going to be, don't you?
I do. It's a song called Windfall, and it's by a group called Sunvolt, who I alluded to earlier. They were members of Sunvolt, came out of Uncle Tupelo, and they basically split up into two bands. This song, there's something about this song. It's the original version of it is very kind of stripped down. It's just got a great quality to it, I think, and I hope my version of it does it justice, because it's a beautiful song and it's got great harmonies, and it's the wood and the guitar sounds phenomenal to me, and I hope that any listeners out there that know the song or know the band will appreciate the version. So,
okay,
Windfall by
great.
Sunvolt.
Great, let's cue it up. Very, very nice, Mike.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Really good. I think you did it justice. I wanted to end our time together with music, so we're just about at the end, but I wanted to make sure that you shared with everyone your website, maybe some of your upcoming gigs, where you can be found, all of that. So give us the information, please.
Okay, so my website is marriageproposalsbymike.com. You can also find me on Facebook at the same URL, facebook.com/Marriage Proposals by Mike. I'm on Twitter at mgcran, CRAN, and in terms of gigs, I have a bi-weekly gig going at a little place in the Lower East Side of New York called The Roost. It's a fantastic place, and I look forward to playing every other week or whenever is possible. It's got great brick walls and wood floors, and the acoustics are just amazing. I'm also playing with my colleague Chris Campion next Friday at Pete's Tavern in Bronxville. We're playing tomorrow night in Long Beach, Long Island, at a place called Cabana. And it's a really, really fun set. Our tagline for that is left of the dial, right of the Hudson.
Very nice. All right, that's all great. Thank you so much for coming, Mike. It really, having a musical show really was, I really enjoyed this. I wish we could be on for another hour.
Me too. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. It was great to be here.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, I want to speak about the power of music for some final words.
Sure.
Recently, I was crying in a synagogue in Prague. Now, that's not a sentence I ever thought that I would say, but it's true. I was on vacation
here every day.
Well, I was on vacation with my family, and we attended a Gershwin concert in the Spanish synagogue in Prague. The setting was beautiful. The synagogue is one of the premier architectural sites in Europe. The music was sublime. 3 violins, a cello, and bass, accompanied by a trumpet. It was Rhapsody in Blue that got to me. When the trumpet came in, you have to understand something. I'm not a crier. I'm a big tough guy, a big Irish Catholic from New York. So I'm ruining my whole persona by telling you this right now. But there we were. There they were, the tears running down my face. Like any emotional outburst, it came as a surprise even to me. I wiped my tears, got through the rest of the concert without incident, and went out to dinner. I thought about it the next day, trying to make sense of it all. Am I just getting old and emotional? What's next? Do I start crying over Hallmark cards or commercials with cute puppies? Then I thought maybe it was the tour. The day of the concert, we went on a tour of the Jewish cemetery. Prague is a city that had 90,000 Jews before World War II and about 1,200 after. The cemetery is unique because to fit all of the graves in the space provided, they had to stack them on top of each other. The cemetery is a landscape of rolling hills in the center of a bustling city. I'm sure that was on my mind as I sat and listened to George and Ira's masterpiece. Or it could have been the composers themselves that moved me to tears. 2 New York Jewish artists whose music has outlasted the oppressors. Yes, the power of music to lift me, lift us in a place of such tragedy. Well, maybe not. You see, as a writer, I tend to try to tie a bow on things, come to a logical conclusion to the story. Not necessarily a happy ending, but an ending. The thing is, neither of those thoughts, as moving as they are, were the reason for the tears. It was just beautiful, that's all. That is the power of music, the power to make a middle-aged man cry in public. As creative people, this is what we strive for. This is why we create, to share it with people and hopefully touch them in some way. Now, I'm no Gershwin. I don't expect tears. Maybe someone will stay up late one night to finish one of my books or finish a chapter before leaving the train platform. That would be enough for me. How do you want to affect people? How are you going to share your creativity? I can't answer the question for you because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I do know one thing. Nothing will happen if you give up. There is no way you'll make a random person tear up on the other side of the world if you don't finish what you started. So hang in there. Don't stop creating, and don't ever give up on your daydream. I have a lot of people to thank. I mostly want to thank the listeners for your support. It's been wonderful. I want to thank our sponsors. Of course, thank Mike for his great music today. Also, Storytellers Campfire has been just wonderful and so supportive. You can see them at storytellers-campfire.org. I would also love it if you could visit the website for the show, which is dont-give-up-your-daydream.webs.com. Also, I am very excited. I have a brand new website up and running, and it's host-john-nuckel.com. On that site, you can find my blogs, my published articles, and maybe you can pick up a book or a short story. Well, that is going to be it for the show. Thank you so much for being here, and be well.